just to make you happy. We used to dance around the playground, was always laughing. That one day you ain't come to school, probably got caught in traffic.
Welcome back to West Wild World. Today I'm going to be showing you all the snakes that I get to work with. Some of my own, some of them I don't own. I'm just very lucky to be able to work with all of these snakes. But yeah, so I'm going to do a full reptile snake room tour, speak about every single snake that I have. This is going to be a longer video, so if you guys don't want to watch, or if you want to skip to certain snakes, I will put time cards in the description for you. But right now I'm going to be bitching about something, just like most people in the reptile community do. So I was going to say, if you don't want to hear me bitch, I'll put timestamps in the description, and I'll see if I can do it on the actual video if you want to skip through my stupid nonsense. Which I don't think is stupid nonsense, because obviously I'm making a little bit part of my video for it. But yeah, so the thing that I wanted to talk about is that some of the big companies that around snakes have been going at me indirectly and directly, not going at me, but have been sort of commenting on the way I handle and sort of saying some pretty disgusting, in my point of view, things towards myself. These companies are all companies that I have personally attended the course. One of them haven't said anything to me, and the other two, one said indirectly and one contacted me personally. The two companies I really do respect. They have they actually produce the venom for the production of anti-venom, so they milk the snakes and send it off for anti-venom production, obviously. So I have huge respect for what they do as a company and them as people as well. But just some of the things they said was a bit, you know, didn't touch a nerve, but I think it's just not something right to say to someone. But yeah, I go on these courses not to learn, well, to learn a lot, but not necessarily to follow exactly their handling skills. I go on these courses to gain the knowledge from people who have been doing this longer than I have been alive. I think attending these courses just for the knowledge and the wealth of knowledge from these people is worth the money. I mean, I flew up to Johannesburg just to go on one of these courses. I mean, I flew up there for one day basically, was there at night, and then I left the next day. I mean, I spent a huge amount of money just going on this one course just to meet the guy and sort of gain the knowledge from him. So I have huge respect for most of these people. But yeah, also I sort of also went on them to not follow exactly how they handle or what they do, but to learn what they do and then adapt and to fit my sort of style and my comfortability level with my animals. And I think that's what everyone should be doing. I don't think there's a golden set standard of handling snakes. Husbandry, there is a very small margin of things that you can do, which is understandable, and snake information is hard facts, so obviously you can't change that. So yeah, how I like to compare it to, because if you deviate from what these companies want you to do, they instantly don't associate with you. They threaten to take your certificates away from the things, which actually in South Africa you need those certificates to actually qualify to be a snake catch and release. It's called catch and release permit. So if I don't have at least one of those certificates, I can't go on my call outs and rescue snakes, which I absolutely love doing. So it's a necessity down here to go on these courses, even if you know what you're doing. But what I like to compare it to is that, you know, for your driving test, you have to do all these fucking stupid head checks. You have to put your handbrake up before you stop. You have to, sorry doodle. You have to put your handbrake up first, then in neutral, then do all these stupid checks and things like that. And that's sort of what is regarded as the safest way of driving. But as soon as you pass that test, you adapt to what you feel most comfortable doing. And in the snake world, you can't do that. There's this way and there's this way only. If you deviate in any sort of way, it's regarded as like treason, basically. You get so much hate, you get so much everything. And I'm not talking about criticism necessarily towards myself, or criticism, constructive criticism. I don't mind that, but I have people around me that do give me constructive criticism and are very harsh on the way that I handle, and I take their opinion very seriously, and also the people that I actually respect. But I also do have my own set of beliefs, even if someone disagrees with me, even if they have some valid set of points. I do what is comfortable to me and I stick to my set of beliefs. If you disagree with it, it's just what it is. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about as well is some of the sort of disgraceful and disgusting comments that people sort of normalize. A lot of people have been saying that I will become a statistic. I'm arrogant. I'm just an adrenaline junkie. I said arrogant, but I'm ignorant. I'm young, stupid, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here for the thrill of it. And it's just those are sort of the tame ones. The people who are saying I'm gonna die from what I love doing. They say that I don't deserve treatment, that I don't deserve anti-venom, that ambulance shouldn't even show up if I take a bite, and those sort of things. Like, that's absolutely disgusting to say to someone that has the same sort of goals as what you do. Just because I do my things in a different way, it doesn't mean that I deserve to be treated like this. And it's not necessarily like getting to me really, but it's just really disgusting comments, if you know what I mean. It's not something that you should be saying to someone in the same hobby with the same goals as you, which is to show people that these animals, you can see, I haven't even been paying attention to, this is called Noodle Levy, I haven't even been paying attention to Noodle, and she's just calming, she's warming up with my body. And yeah, it's just to show people that these aren't killing machines, they aren't out here to hurt us, they are, you can actually cohabitate with them. And yeah, I want to stop the unnecessary killing of them. I want to sort of not abolish the phobia, but more so get the respect that these animals deserve, and not the fear around them. I want to sort of get that away. So I mean, if we can't all stand together with that, then I really don't know what to say. But it's just yeah, quite disgusting what people do say online. But yeah, some people do have some valid points on some things, and I understand the points, especially with companies that have a name to uphold, especially the companies that provide these so-called safe training, safe handling or safe training courses, things like that. They can't be associated with someone that is, in most people's eyes, deemed to be an adrenaline junkie, pushing the boundaries constantly and things like that. It's completely understandable. I'm not worried about that. It's just the comments after that is just a bit not alright in a sense. So yeah, again, this isn't me bitching about hate. You can hate on me all you want, but I still think as a reptile community that we should all stand together, instead of breaking each other down from the inside. Because how are we supposed to change the public's opinion about these beautiful animals when we're arguing about what is the right way to pick up a snake? What is the right way to hold a snake? It's just like, the snake's fine. What really is the problem? If you're not injuring the snake, what's the issue? But that's enough of me bitching. But let's check out this beautiful ball python. She is normal het albino. She is a beautiful, beautiful girl. One of the best pets, well, not really the best pets, but one of the calmest, most docile pets that have been bred in captivity for a very, very long time. Why I say they aren't the best pets to have is because they do go on food strikes quite a lot, and it could be quite worrying to a novice snake keeper. But just in the sense of how the animal's temperament is and how sweet they are, I think is one of the best snakes to get. They also don't get that big, but 4 feet to 6 feet, which is about, I think, 1.2 to about 1.8 meters around about. And yeah, they live for about 20 years, and they're just awesome animals to keep. I mean, you can see the whole time I've been bitching, she's just been chilling, warming up on my body, no aggressive accent. They are very head shy, so if you saw that little movement when I made towards her head, she did jump back. But yeah, awesome snakes and brilliant beginner snakes, but we'll get into the other snakes now. This is a snake we named Sassy for, I guess you can sort of see for obvious reasons. If she will bite me, she'll more than likely bite me. But this is a juvenile mole snake. Most people wouldn't, especially people not in South Africa, wouldn't know that this is a mole snake because of the coloration. This coloration is actually its juvenile colors. These dots on it and the sort of markings on it are its juvenile colors. Some of them are born melanistic, so that just means they were born completely black. They are, you can see the tail there, come a bit close, she's trying to musk on me. Musking is a mixture of pee and poo to warn off a predator, because obviously she is sassy and she thinks that I'm here to hurt her, and that's why most bites really happen. You see that she tried to strike at my finger. But this is a mole snake, a non-venomous snake native to South Africa. They are one of the actually better snakes to have around your garden, obviously, because their main diet is moles. They hunt in mole burrows, and they are excellent pest control. They also, because they are pest control, they keep the rats and the rodent population down. There isn't really the need for the venomous snakes to come to that part where these guys occupy. Obviously, Cape cobras do eat these guys until they get to a certain size, because they can grow up to about 2 meters in length and maybe a bit more. But they're awesome snakes. They have a powerful bite, because obviously they hunt in burrows, which is very, very small and tight. So they have to overpower their prey more so than constrict. Obviously, in captivity, they do constrict. When they constrict, it's actually really, really cool to see, because they have perfect coils, almost like an anaconda does. They bite and then they wrap almost their whole body around it, which is awesome to see. But they have about 80 sharp recurved teeth, so the bite from these guys can cause stitches if you pull away. Obviously not at this size, but the big ones can cause quite a meaty bite, a bite that you wouldn't want to take too often. But yeah, this is awesome non-venomous snake. Not a beginner snake for most people, because they are quite a bastard to handle, but they are beautiful animals. They come in black, almost brick red, a light brown, even some come in very, very light, sort of grayish white color. So they have a huge color variation, and they also have a huge distribution. They aren't really found in captivity that much down in South Africa. Don't know why, just the pet trade for them down here isn't that great, but in America I know these guys are quite sought after, and I know why, because they are absolutely beautiful. But I'm gonna hop into the next snake real quick, just get a close up of how beautiful this guy is. Absolutely love mole snakes, one of my top non-venomous snakes. I'll see you guys. This isn't a snake, as you can see. This is a crested gecko, or another common name is an eyelash gecko. If you guys come in right there, you can see the pretty little eyelashes. Oh, check at that. Also, if you guys are zoomed in now, you can see the little suction cups. She wants to jump. The suction cups on the feet help her stick to surfaces. They're also very, very good at jumping, because obviously they're a gecko. But these guys are an awesome beginner pet, especially if you like geckos and reptiles and stuff like that, especially for a little kid. I would obviously, definitely recommend a gecko over a snake or something for someone who is interested in reptiles for a first beginner pet, because they are a lot easier to care for, and they are awesome. Very little chance of you getting stitches from these guys, let's just say. But these guys get up to about 5 to 8 inches in length, have a lifespan of about 15 to 20 years, and they're awesome snakes. They come in a variety of different morphs. Morphs is just different colors. And what's cool is that they can actually detach their tail at the back there, like very many other leopards, geckos, and well, not skinks, well, I guess other geckos. But these guys can't regenerate their tail, so once it falls off, it's gone forever. So captive bred guys and wild caught ones usually don't have their tails. Sorry, I just have to be very careful. So they sometimes do, when they stress out, they'll drop it, and yeah, it's very, very rare to see these guys in adulthood with their tails. What is also cool is that they were thought to be extinct for quite a while, until they were rediscovered in 1994, but I can't remember by who. But yeah, it's awesome to still have these guys around after such a long time of them thinking that they were extinct. But again, awesome beginner pet. They're omnivorous, so they eat fruit and veg and little insects and stuff like that. They're just awesome. Look at that suction cup and just how it walks. It's gonna look like it's gonna jump again, but they're beautiful animals. Absolutely stunning. I know it's not a snake, but yeah, it's a full reptile tour that we're gonna be doing. But yeah. Okay, so guys, this is my dumerils boa. This is going to be the last one before we move on to the spicy ones. But this is a beautiful, beautiful boa. This is a ground boa. You guys can tell that from the short tail, obviously. So why they have a short tail is obviously because they live on the ground. They're ambush hunters from the ground. They hide in the leaf litter. More boreal snakes obviously have longer tails, so they can wrap around the tree and feel more secure, and they're better at climbing obviously. But this guy's markings are perfectly adapted to where he would be laying and waiting. So in the leaf litter, the dried leaves on the floor, you can imagine that you wouldn't be able to see this guy. They get up to about, I think, 2 meters in length. I stand corrected on that, but they also have a very awesome feeling. It's very like a soft velvety feeling their scales have. They usually are very, very docile creatures, being bred in captivity a lot, and they are found in Madagascar, but this is just a little juvenile. This guy hasn't been eating for me, which is a bit of an issue, but I mean, he's lost a little bit of weight, but he still has a square body shape, and things like that. So I'm a bit worried about him, but he's still doing quite well, looking awesome. Already had his shed. He had 1 meal with me, thankfully. But yeah, he hasn't eaten for about 2 months, and I'm quite stressed about him. But he's an absolutely beautiful, calm and awesome snake. You can see the coloration and the markings on them are just insane. Absolutely love them. So it's not just venomous that I like, it's just the venomous is more of my passion, and it's more so what I want to show people. That because I mean, not very many people are afraid of these guys killing you, obviously, from the size and things like that. The venomous, one bite could be deadly, so I want to sort of more so teach people about the venomous, but they're also awesome snakes. But we're going to move on to the, actually I think we have one more non-venomous to show you, and then we move on to the spicy ones. This is a South African brown house snake. These guys are a non-venomous constrictor, getting up to about 1 meter in length. This is not the original color of these guys. This is a T positive albino. Do not hold me to that. I'm not very good with morphs, but it is a morph. I'm pretty sure it's T positive albino. But they're beautiful, beautiful snakes. They're similar to that of the mole snake, that they are excellent pest control to have around. So obviously they're non-venomous. They'll clean up the rodents. They'll keep the rodent population in check and keep the venomous snakes away. So these guys are excellent to have around your house. Obviously, if you don't have pets or things that would kill the snake, or if the snake would harass, basically. So yeah, they're awesome little snakes. It's one of the better snakes, better beginner snakes, because they are very, very docile. They're good eaters, and they don't grow very big at all. But they also come in a variety of different morphs, which is awesome. But yeah, awesome little snakes. This is a marble tree snake, a mildly venomous snake that is from South Africa. Mildly venomous, not medically significant. I'm wearing these gloves because it does like to bite like that, and I just want to limit my exposure to venom for the hypersensitivity reasons. But you can see the defensive posture of these guys. They will go like that in the S shape, and they will flatten their head out like that and make themselves look as big as possible. They are rear fang venomous. I think they have hemotoxic or cytotoxic venom. Don't hold me to that, I do not know. But they are very rarely kept in captivity because of their diet. Their diet is mainly lizards, geckos, and small little reptiles like that. So it is quite difficult to get these guys onto rodents, but I'm lucky enough to have these guys on mice. But they're awesome, awesome snakes. Very, very feisty. You guys can see they also have a multicolored tongue. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but the beginning portion of their tongue is very light, and it goes into a very dark sort of thing. Some people say that's to attract prey. Other people say it's just sort of a defense mechanism against birds, or I don't know how really that works, but yeah, there's a bit of a debate around why they are multicolored tongues. But they're awesome, awesome snakes. One of the rarer ones that I actually have in my collection. Not my collection, but the ones that I get to work with. But yeah, I'm going to put it back because I don't want to stress it out too much, but they're awesome, awesome snakes. Look at that defensive posture. Awesome. This is my Cape Coral Cobra. This guy is considered dangerous, and they have an attitude of a little Jack Russell. All those strikes that you guys are seeing now are more than likely bluff strikes. Why they're called the Cape Coral Cobra is because they stand up like that, try and flatten their hood and neck area as much as possible and look as intimidating as possible. These guys will mostly bluff strike and hiss. They just want you to get away from them, basically. These guys usually don't ever bite. Well, bites do occur, but they usually don't bite. You can see that the snake just wants to get away from me. But these guys are beautiful, beautiful animals, getting up to about 1 meter in length, maybe a bit bigger if it's a big female. But they have a neurotoxic venom that can cause respiratory distress, which just means that it would affect your breathing a bit. But there are no known deaths from these guys. That's why there is no anti-venom required. Obviously, being this small with not so potent of a venom, their venom glands are quite small, so they can't inject a lot of venom into their fangs. Or they're also very, very small. They're part of the Lapidae family. But they're beautiful, beautiful snakes, have an attitude like no other snake I've ever dealt with before, but they're absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best, well, starter venomous, I think, for people in South Africa, because they are very, very feisty. They don't usually bite, and they are a local snake. So doctors would know how to treat you, even though if you get bit by an exotic snake, they would usually just treat you symptomatically anyway. But with a copperhead or a white-lip bite, those guys leave sort of tissue damage. So whereas these guys leave minimal tissue damage, their venom is mainly neurotoxic. So if you do take a tag, it's not going to leave a lasting effect usually. But yeah, this is one of the favorites in the collection of my little snakes. Check how beautiful that snake is, standing tall and proud. Obviously, I'm keeping its attention with my movement. Cobras are very, very, very movement associated. But this is my coral cobra, Cape coral cobra. Obviously not a true cobra, but a beautiful snake nonetheless. But I'm just going to put him back and we'll carry on to the next snake. So this is my feisty little subadult Cape cobra. I'm not going to let him go on the floor because he is not cooperating today. But this guy is very, very special as he still has his juvenile colors. This white going through his body, there's very, very light coloration through his body is very, very abnormal for a snake this size. And if I get him to hood up for you guys, see if I can, there, you can see the dark band. If he would look at you, that dark band on his throat is also indicative of a juvenile Cape cobra, which this guy obviously is not from the size of him. But yeah, he's the 8th most venomous cobra in the world. Potent neurotoxic venom, getting up to about 1.6, 1.8 meters. Some even allegedly get to 2 meters. But there's stories of these guys putting down people in 20 minutes. Complete paralysis these guys can do. And that's when someone's not allergic to the venom. So their bite is no joke at all. Some people even say that these guys have a more potent venom than that of a black mamba. So I mean, these guys are no joke. And I think he's actually going into shed, that's why he's being so pissy today. But yeah, beautiful snake. I'm not going to mess with him too much, especially if he is going into shed, but you can see the size of him there. He's probably about 1.1 meters. He's getting very, very big, and he still has these colors. He's a beautiful cobra. I'm going to get him back into his enclosure and we'll move on. These are my West African gaboon vipers, Bitus rhinoceros. These guys are yearlings, maybe 1 year and 6 months old, so they are getting some size on them. This is my pair. The female is on the right. She is a huffy puffy. She doesn't mind taking a bite. If you guys can see, as soon as I move my hand that side, watch her head. Move this side, slight little tilt. It's only sort of indication that you can get from these guys when they warn to bite. These guys are ambush predators. They usually don't give any warning. Obviously, besides a huffing and puffing to warn you to back off, but before they strike, there's almost no warning. These guys have one of the fastest strikes in the world. I don't know the exact measurements. I know the puff adders, the same genus, Bitus. It was recorded at 0.3 to 0.25 to 0.3 milliseconds in seconds. So same thing, but 300 milliseconds or 250 milliseconds. So these guys' strikes are ridiculous. These used to be a subspecies of Bitus gabonica. There used to be Bitus gabonica rhinoceros or Rhinoceros gabonica, I can't remember, but there's been split into their own subspecies, Bitus rhinoceros. They're completely different snakes. Now, good way to tell the difference is that you guys can see on the face over there, it only has one marking down there. Bitus gabonica has two. You can also see, you see how quick she is to react. You can see on their nose they have little rostral scales on the upturned rostral scales on their nose that are horns, bits of Tyrannosaurus, obviously. And you can also see the two color difference of these two. This one on the right, my right, is going into shed, and this one on the left, I can't remember where I left off, but I think I was saying that this female on the left has just popped out of shed and the male on the right is just going into shed. But you can see these guys are short, fat-bodied animals. They are ambush hunters. They aren't active predators. These guys are also known for having the world's largest fangs, as well as the largest venom yield ever recorded. These guys have a cardiotoxic component in their venom. They have a neurotoxic component in their venom. They have cytotoxic. They have hemotoxic. The bite from these guys are absolutely terrible, and they have so much venom that it can actually put you into organ failure, toxicity overload in your body, which will actually kill you faster than their venom, which is insane if they actually pump all of that venom into you. This is a nasty, nasty bite to take, but bites are very rare because these guys are usually very, very docile and they don't come into contact with humans very often. Because you can see the camouflage of them, it will be very, very, very difficult. Okay, so ran out of space on one phone, so we switched to the other. But what I was talking about, that these snakes barely show any signs before striking out. They sort of give you this level of complacency that most other snakes don't give, because they can look calm, they don't even huff and puff, and then just the next second they'll just strike out. So these guys you must be very, very wary about, and I mean the bite itself is just terrible to experience. But yeah, the venom again, it has cardiotoxic components which literally attacks your heart. That's how potent that part of their venom is. They have neurotoxic venom, they have cytotoxic venom, and they have hemotoxic venom. They have a potent cocktail of venom, and they have one of the world's largest venom yields. So these guys are absolutely no joke. I know they're one of the staple creatures around the world to own for venomous, but you guys must understand that the repercussions of a bite from these guys, it's not good at all. Just look up some videos or posts about the aftermath of a gaboon viper and puff at a bite. It's one of the most gnarly things you will ever see. Obviously not for the faint of heart, don't look it up if you're very squeamish, but yeah, these are my awesome gaboon vipers. Can't wait for them to grow up to big 90 centimeters to a meter long, beautiful animals with those huge heads. Oh, I can't wait. We'll jump into the next snake. So this is my beautiful female eastern green mamba. This girl, she's very hot at the moment and very wound up. She is usually such a sweetheart, but look at the colors of this girl. She is insanely gorgeous. A neon green snake with while the easterns have very few little blue marks on them. I'm just going to let it down. She is very wiry today. She has very, very few yellow and blue marks on her, but she is very, very wiry today. I think she's just very hot. But yeah, she has a potent neurotoxic venom. Unlike the black mamba, she is very, very arboreal, more so arboreal than the black mamba. These guys have a reputation of being a lot calmer of a snake than a black mamba, but I think that gives people the complacency that these guys won't take a bite out of you. Bites are very, very rare because these snakes are very, very shy and they avoid human contact at almost all costs. But you can see that she's just trying to climb to some higher place to get away from me. Yeah, one of the most feared species in the world, the big mambas are. The green mambas are insanely beautiful, insanely docile to a point. I wouldn't really say docile because she can take a tag out of me at any sort of time. She is very, very arboreal. Sorry about that. She's very, very arboreal and she can come back over her body in a second. They're very, very twitchy and nervous snakes. They're very, very eyesight. They focus mainly with their eyesight, so any fast movements really do spook them. But you can see that she is a sweetheart. She's not coming back on me, she's just trying to get away from me. It's the only thing that she's trying to do. But yeah, this girl is a bit on the skinny side because before she got to me, she did lay eggs and was refusing meals. Then she started to take meals, but recently she went off for about 2 to 3 months. And if you guys know anything about leopards, they absolutely need food a lot because their metabolism is so fast, because they are active hunters. They aren't like the gaboons or the powfu-haters that just sit there and wait. They will actually actively go out and hunt for their food. But you can see how beautiful the snake is. I absolutely love her. She's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Deadly as well. Again, less deadly than the black mamba. Drop for drop, less potent, but it can still put you down within 2 hours. Potent neurotoxic venom. But I don't want to stress it out too much, so I'm just going to get her straight back into the enclosure. But yeah, this is my green mamba. So this is my powfu-hate. This guy is related to that gaboon viper that I showed you earlier. Not really related, but they are in the same genus, Bitus. So this is Bitus atrans. I don't know how to say the Latin name, so forgive me on that. And the other one's Bitus rhinoceros. But this guy is known as the landmine of South Africa. This guy is Limpopo locality, so he isn't the ones found down in Western Cape. But you can just see the color variations. The ones down here in Western Cape are blackish yellow sort of color. Some even are black and white, and this guy is more of a tan sort of color. They're beautiful, beautiful snakes with a potent cytotoxic venom. One of the fastest striking snakes in the world, I think just behind the death adder. So I've seen videos of these guys strike 3 different times, 3 strikes in a second. Like, it's very difficult to comprehend how fast that is. You can get bit 3 times by this guy and you wouldn't even know. This venom usually would not kill you if you get treated. You would usually die from secondary infections. But obviously, if it gives you a large enough dose of the venom, the hemotoxic component in it will cause internal bleeding, and you will obviously bleed out. So the bite from these guys is usually very painful. One of my mates actually got bit by a powfu-hate back in 2007, and he said it was like keeping his hand in burning oil all the time. You can imagine how painful that is. These guys have very rough keeled scales, obviously to help them camouflage. Same with the colors. The color differentiation is obviously the fauna and flora, the different fauna and flora in the different provinces and the different localities. But yeah, so their venom literally eats away at every cell in your body. You would usually die from a gangrenous, I think that's the right term, infection, rather than from the actual venom, but it's still caused from the venom. Again, if you get a high enough dose, it can cause internal bleeding, which will obviously put you down, and that would be solely from the venom itself. But these guys are absolutely beautiful, called the landmine of South Africa, because they'll sit there and wait, ambush predators like I said, and wait for their prey to come. They aren't active hunters like the mambas, the cobras, and most of the leopards, but they are beautiful animals, and they usually are very calm. They get the name powfu-hate obviously from the huffing and puffing they have. Those huge nostrils at the front there, if you would like to move, those huge nostrils at the front there allow them to expel that air very quickly and get a lot of air in. So their huffing and puffing is very loud, and it's used as a defense mechanism, like a rattlesnake would use its rattle. But yeah, awesome snakes, absolutely love them. This is a fully grown adult, about 90 centimeters. They can get up to about 1.2 meters in South Africa down here. Further north, they have been found up to about 2 meters, and that's a huge powfu-hate, especially for a fat-bodied ambush predator. They are absolutely insane. But yeah, I can move on to the next thing. This is my East African forest cobra, or brown forest cobra, Naya sublufia. These guys are the least toxic of the 5 species of forest cobras that they've been recently split into. These guys have a potent neurotoxic and cytotoxic venom, which is still a terrible bite, pardon me, to take. These guys are known as a brown forest cobra, obviously from the brown going into the complete black at the tail. But you can see there that they spread a very narrow hood compared to other cobras, but they stand very tall, when they do spread a hood. Their hood is actually very magnificent. But these snakes are so shy and so reluctant to bite and to come back and actually interact with humans that you rarely ever see them hood up, and bites rarely ever occur. They only ever occur with people like me, people who mess with these snakes, not really mess, but handle them, keep them in captivity, rescue them from people's places and things like that. But these are beautiful, beautiful animals. I think you might do a little bit of a hood there. Look how magnificent that is. That's like a half-hearted hood. But yeah, so these are one of the 5 species of forest cobras, the largest true cobras on earth, getting up to about 2.7 meters. But a 3-meter one is about the max that these Nyssa get up to. Let's see if we can just get it up. So these guys are subadults, adults, about 1.8 meters, well not 1.8, but 1.5 to 1.6 meters, so they still have a lot of growing to do. They don't have a bad temperament at all, but they are very, very shy and flighty animals. They don't like to be handled, and they're very, very arboreal, so they are very strong. If they get one little loop of their tail around your hand, they can shoot straight back up at you. They are very, very arboreal. You can see the hood there. This guy likes to stand his ground a lot. You can see how narrow that hood is. Most other cobras have a very broad hood, but this guy has a very narrow hood, and he stands very, very tall. Very nice and proud cobra this guy is. He usually is quite a sweetheart. Doesn't rarely ever open mouth, but obviously me standing up right now, I'm a huge threat to him. He perceives me as a huge threat. So yeah, I mean, awesome cobra. But my dream snake is a West African. West Africans are just cobras on tick. Really, they're awesome snakes. But yeah, I'm gonna try and show you guys his hood one more time. Maybe he'll hood up for you guys. And I get him by the tail. See how this goes. Just so you can see the front of the hood. Don't know if he will or if he won't. Let's just see. Okay. Just when I say he doesn't bite. But you can see the little bit of a hood there. But I'm pissing him off and I don't really want to. Just wanted to show off his defensive posture for you guys. But I'm going to put him back real quick. Beautiful, beautiful snake. I'll see you guys when I get the next snake out. This is my banded locality of snouted cobra, Naya anamufria. They are exactly the same as a normal snouted cobra, but obviously just a different color. These guys are found out in the wild, so they aren't like inbred sort of projects, sort of like how the ball pythons are and things like that. So they are not locally found, but they are found in the wild like this. So it is just a locality thing more than a morph. But yeah, they're exactly the same as the normal snouted cobras that I'm going to bring out after this. Same species, no subspecies, just a different color. They have a potent cytotoxic and neurotoxic venom. Obviously an elapid cobra in the Naya family. And they usually, when they're bred in captivity, they have a perfect temperament. Not that I would want to let this guy run around me like a ball python, but he is very laid back, he's very used to my handling, very used to my touch, and yeah. So these guys, awesome snakes. Obviously not the best banding in the world, but I mean they're still pretty snakes. One of my favorites. I say that almost about every single one of my snakes, but these guys are just insanely beautiful. So look at that. Doesn't even matter what I'm doing to it, just wants to explore, just wants to escape. This is a perfect example of a snake that absolutely wants nothing to do with us. And it's a perfect example to show people that these snakes aren't killing machines. They don't want to hurt us. They don't want to waste their venom on us. They don't want to do any of those things. And it's also a reason why I like free handling, because it sort of does show people that these snakes aren't killing machines. Even though you have to be very careful while handling them, full concentration and everything like that, but they are insanely beautiful. Absolutely love them. Love their temperament, love everything about them. Just love snakes in general, and I hope these videos make you guys appreciate snakes just as much as me. Even if you guys do have a phobia of them, I hope it makes it a little bit easier and fear a little bit less. But yeah, this is the banded snouted cobra. I have a pair of them. I don't know if this is the male or female because they're basically identically, well, the size is identical, but they are awesome snakes. Absolutely love them. But I'm going to get the normal one out for you now. Yeah, see you guys. Another snouted cobra. This is my normal snouted cobra, quote unquote normal. They come in different colors and different localities. The one that I have is that the partner is a bit more orange in this gray to white complex. They're exactly the same as that banded snouted cobra that I just took out, but you can see the size of her head there. Look at those venom glands and look at the size of it. This isn't even one of the big ones. I'm about 2 meters tall, and this cobra is about 1.9 meters in length. And look how thick she is. She's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely love this cobra. She's in a bit of a mood because of mating season and obviously being paired up. So the hormones are going all over the place. But she usually is a very sweet cobra that takes a lot of nonsense. But obviously I wouldn't want to take a bite from this girl because of how much venom she actually possesses. Look at the size of her head. It's actually insane, the size of that head, eh? I mean, I can never get over it when I take her out. Her hood is also insanely beautiful, but she hardly ever hoods up because she's such a sweet girl. I can't get over the fact of how sweet of a cobra this is, even though she looks so menacing, so big, so scary, but she's just trying to run away. She's not even coming back at me, not even hooding up, and she's letting me do whatever to her, even when she's in a bit of a pissy mood. I mean, again, it just shows how much these snakes can actually tolerate, and actually will tolerate, of human beings, and shows that they aren't out here to kill us. I mean, they aren't out here to harm us in any way. If you leave these guys alone, they will almost certainly leave you alone. Even me messing with this snake, she's not coming back at me, she's not trying to bite me. She is huffing a little bit because she is just popping out of shed soon, so she is a bit irritated, and her hormones are going a bit whack because of mating season. But you can see how absolutely calm she is. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful cobra. Absolutely love her. This is one of the pair. I think this is I think it's a KZN locality or Johannesburg. It's one of the two localities. They do differ a bit in color from place to place where they are found, but these are the normal ones you find and not the banded ones. But you can see how I love this cobra. Absolutely love this cobra. She is an awesome inquisitive snake that mostly doesn't give me any issues. She is actually one of my favorite snakes to take out to show people that snakes actually don't want anything to do with us. You see I'm manipulating her, moving her around. She is coming towards me. She's not chasing me, and this isn't aggressive. She is just trying to find a way out. You see I move out of her way, she keeps on going. But let me just show you guys one more time how beautiful this animal is. Look at her. She's absolutely insanely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful animal. Absolutely insane. Look at that. Oh, I love her. But you guys can see that some of her scales are popping off, so she is in shed, and that roughing fee, that scruffy little feeling that you're hearing when she's moving about is her scales about to come off. So I'm not going to mess with her too much, even though shedding at this age usually it doesn't really become a good shed, even if it's good humidity, good heat, good everything. But yeah, I don't want to stress her out much more. I'm just going to get her back to her hubby and yeah, let her shed hopefully soon. Okay, so this is my not so friendly banded rinkhals from KZN. This guy is a cobra, but he's not a cobra. He's also a spitting cobra. If you guys will see, he'll probably spit. He's a bit of a bastard, as one might say. But yeah, these guys aren't classified in the Naya species because they have keeled scales. They have keeled scales. Hey, can I talk about you real quick? They have keeled scales and they are live bearing, which is absolutely awesome. Their fangs also, because they have front fixed fangs, their fangs aren't situated in the correct space that would classify them as being naya. So you can see how absolutely beautiful this guy is. He has a potent cytotoxic venom that will eat away at your flesh. He's classified as a deadly snake. Their venom is used in the production of the polyvalent anti-venom in South Africa. Yeah, what's cool about these guys is that they are unlike other spitting cobras. They actually have to rear up and lunge themselves basically to spit their venom. They actually hurl their venom more so than spit because they have fangs are basically hypodermic needles. Spitting cobras have their fangs, the whole of their fangs where their venom comes out at a 90-degree angle, allowing them to shoot upwards at any sort of direction. They don't need to rear up like this guy has to. These guys, like other non-spitting cobras, have the hole at the bottom of their fangs. So they have to use that lunging motion to actually propel the venom forward. But they are absolutely beautiful. I'll try and get him. I don't know if he'll spit. He might try and bite me. But there, you see that little lunge forward? That was him spitting. You see how high he's also standing. A beautiful, beautiful cobra. One of the most pretty colors out of the rinkhals that I've ever seen. They come in different localities, which is basically just different colors. I have one that's completely black, that is Johannesburg locality, and then they also come in a banded version that is white. But this is one of the more pretty ones, and one of the more, not aggressive I would say, but he's a bit wiry a lot of the time. This is about as big as they get. Sorry, just concentrating there. He is quite close there. You can see that little split. He has to lunge forward to hurl his venom. But I think they're one of the more pretty versions of the rinkhals. These guys are also very close to my heart because they have basically gone extinct down here in the Western Cape. There used to be an abundance of them back in the 1980s, all around Cape Town and all around that, and now they're barely even found up in Stellenbosch. And yeah, the conservation of them is really not up to par. Not very many people care about them because obviously they're snakes. But yeah, I actually want to try and revive that as best as possible because look how beautiful this animal is. Even if you're scared of snakes, how can you say the back of that hood is not absolutely gorgeous? Look at the oranges on the back of that hood. Look at the banding, look at the colors. How can you not say this snake isn't just a work of art? But yeah, enough talking about this guy, I'll hop on to the next snake. Okay, so this is a Mozambique spitting cobra, or mfezi as it's another local name. Naya mozambica. These guys are notorious for going into people's homes at night while they're sleeping and biting them in their bed. That is actually a phenomenon that some herpetologists are actually trying to theorize and find out why it's actually happening. There's theories about it, but most people actually don't know. There was quite a famous one where I think a 4 or 5-year-old girl was bit on the face by a Mozambique spitting cobra while she was sleeping. She ended up surviving, obviously with scars and stuff on her face, obviously from the swallowing the cytotoxic venom. But the scary thing is that this guy doesn't only possess cytotoxic venom. He possesses, or she, or gender fluid, I don't know, haven't probed it yet, but she possesses neurotoxic components as well. What's awesome about these cobras is that you can actually have this cobra necked. The neck just means held behind the head over here, and it can still project that venom anywhere it wants to. It has such advanced muscles around its venom glands and modified fangs to allow that to happen. They're absolutely beautiful snakes. This guy or girl is a very big specimen, and she is very, very calm. Well, compared to most Mozambique spitting cobras, usually they are absolute water cannons. They love spitting, they love spraying everywhere, every single movement they love to spray. One of my friends has got spat at by quite a few spitting cobras, and he says this was the worst one that he got. And he didn't even get a full envenomation into the eyes. He just got venom that came down from, sorry, I just have to reset. So he was sweating, and he got spat on top of the forehead, and he wiped his thing off, and then he wiped his eyes. So he only got a little bit of the venom in his eyes, and he said it was the most excruciating pain that he's ever gone through. He said he would never voluntarily take a Mozambique spit straight to the face. But you can see how beautiful the snake is, coming rather, and ran out of storage once again because iPhones are shit. But as I was saying, yeah, these guys are notorious for bites, and their bites are absolutely terrible. But yeah, that's the sort of full tour of the snake rooms and all the snakes that I get to work with on a daily basis. I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously it was a very long video. If you guys did enjoy even me bitching at the beginning, please hit the like and subscribe button to see these snakes more regularly. And if you just enjoy the content, I would love to see you guys back. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.